Hey everybody, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete. I am the vegan man today, I guess. Just walking around here in this lovely neighborhood. It looks like an HOA. It feels like an HOA. Everything's the same. Very clean, very well manicured front yards. I found a special house that I want to share with you guys in this neighborhood. You want to see it? Smash the thumbs up button, hit that like button if you want to see it, and follow me. Let's go see it.
You must be a great editor.
What's happening? I'm Jake.
Hey Jake, I'm Justin.
Justin?
Clark.
Who are you guys?
We're the Agriscapers.
Agriscapers.
Yeah.
What's up with your house? Your house looks a little bit different than your neighbor's.
Just a little bit,
But it
but
still looks in accordance with the HOA. So what's going on?
So we do elegant edible landscaping, and so we wanted to really integrate the edibles that we love to eat into our landscape in a way that wouldn't offend the HOA and maybe even get them on our good side, which we've effectively been able to do.
Nice. The first thing I notice when I come back into the backyard is this incredible like mounded garden that has a ton of plants growing in there.
Yeah, when you came, there was probably like 3 rows of lettuce and stuff, right?
It was.
Yeah, we had a bunch of lettuce that's already harvested, went to market, and so we've already cycled stuff back through.
So you're rotating crops, and
Yeah.
you have a cool acronym for how to remember how to rotate.
Yeah, it's just a little rhyme. It's root, fruit, bean, green.
Okay.
Root, fruit, bean, green. And you'll be better than 80% of the people out there trying to rotate with a 3-year or 12-year schedule.
So a root like a carrot.
Yeah, like a carrot.
And then a fruit like a strawberry.
Like a strawberry.
And then?
Well, with this, I'd go more like a watermelon.
Okay.
Or even the peppers.
As the fruit.
Things like that as your fruit.
Okay.
And root, fruit, and then beans. So all your beans, your peas, your runner beans, edamames, and then your greens. So anything that's a green. And a lot of times we use edible flowers as part of our green cycle.
And you guys got, remember, you have like some violas, looks like here, and
awesome edible flowers.
all
I mean,
kinds
everything
of,
in the viola
oregano,
family. Yeah, well,
thyme.
this is we got some thyme, some German thymes all in here, and this is more of a D and E kind of climate zone. We got stevia growing back over there. This right here, where we're at, this is what we call our personal pharmacy. FARM pharmacy. We go to our medicine here first. This is our first medicine cabinet. Before we ever go to a doctor, and we're really selective about who we pick on that, we come out here and we'll eat and cultivate the types of stuff that help our ailments that our family has. We make sure we grow them in here.
So in a sense, if I have like a little bit of a cold, I can have a seat in the pharmacy and just like
just reach down, grab some violas,
take a viola and kind of just start to improve my health.
Yeah. Well, it's like with my son Jack, it's like I said, hey, if he comes in coughing, I was like, hey, have you had your pansies today? It's like, no. He's like, oh no. So he goes out and eats 5 pansies, usually a half hour, he's good.
That's awesome.
Good for the day.
That's a great way to raise your kids.
Yeah. See, we had a hard time getting any of our kids to eat vegetables and stuff at first, when they're little. But then we started growing the stuff, getting them to grow it, and now they're like, hey, I'm only gonna eat it if it comes from our garden. I mean, that was a funny thing. It's like, Jack doesn't like tomatoes, but if it came from our garden, he'll eat it.
Yeah.
Doesn't like broccoli, but if it came from our garden, he'll eat it. Caleb hates broccoli, but if it came from his zone, he's gonna eat it. He's like, oh, I'm gonna at least try it.
Yeah.
And he's game for it. So
that's great.
It's a great way to get kids to eat healthy.
I love the levels. So you guys are not just growing in raised beds per se. You're doing a raised bed of sorts, but you're growing in like a mound that changes its growing zone as it goes up or down the mound.
And it's all based on a lot of the shade and the microclimate that we have here. It's like right across there, it's a pretty good bee zone that gets a lot of sun pretty much throughout the entire day. We got some weeping mulberry tree right there. We got some passion flower over there. Yeah, that's what this little weeper is right there.
Some passion flower, weeping mulberry.
Yep, we got what do we got back in there? We got some oreganos, the Mexican oreganos, stevia, and then rhubarb back in the back there. So some of these are test plants because this yard we use as a good test for all of our microclimates. So we have rhubarb growing in every microclimate and subclimate that's in our backyard. So we're going to be testing it out this year.
And you guys are, just like me, you're using a lot of wood chips and a lot of mulch.
Exactly.
Why? So why wouldn't you just plant it in the soil and leave the soil alone with no wood chips on top? I'm sure the wood chips are just on top.
Yeah, they're just on top. I mean, we basically stacked it on top. And we did put a lot of some of our own manures down. So we got some of our chicken, our rabbit.
Wow,
we put that as a layer, and then we put the mulch on top of that. I mean, we actually did even more.
Look at the amount of worms that are in there.
Yeah, look at that. It's crawling.
It's crazy.
It's a nice little...
Man.
Nice catch.
So that's the kind of life that you have in your soil.
Yep.
That's great, man.
And we don't want to kill it.
Let's put it back in there.
Yeah.
Does that gross you guys out holding the worms like that? Perfect. So let's see some of your highlights. You got some, looks like this is your leafy zone. You got red Russian kale, dinosaur kale, Swiss chard, and What else you got in here?
Yep, a lot of tomatoes. We got some broccolis all hidden up inside of there too. We got some squash. We got some other things. So things are starting to phase out. So we're phasing out of the greens, and so we're starting over again. So
Because right now
green.
it's like 90 degrees today.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees today. But that's these tomatoes. So we're putting them in the afternoon, basically getting some good afternoon shade, get some filtered light. As these Vitex trees, which are great medicinal trees for hormone balance and stuff. Monk's pepper, it's called that because of its ability to help taper hormones. I mean, you think of the monks, you know, they're trying to stay celibate and they see some pretty ladies and they're like, man, I gotta drink my tea. And that helped calm them down. It actually literally helps regulate hormones.
So this does that.
It really does that. And we use it as an alternative peppercorn too. So you can put it literally in a pepper grinder.
So you can grind it or you can make a tea out of it, you're saying?
Yes.
Or you can eat it, can you eat it raw?
You can eat it raw, or you can taste it. It's got like a little floury, peppery taste to it.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's cool.
That stuff sells pretty good.
Nice, that's awesome.
You can see we got a bunch of it still on the tree from last year's harvest. We just haven't bothered to get it because it actually holds really well on the tree. It doesn't rot.
Yeah, I need to get a Vitex tree.
Yeah.
That's cool. And your guys' artichoke plant here looks insane.
Oh, this is the little one.
That's great. It's a,
Yeah, they are. They're
amazing
awesome. We love
leaves.
them.
And look at the artichokes inside here. Looking really healthy. Probably because it's growing in all those worms.
Yeah, exactly. We got a lot of good cultivated soil. We've been growing the soil real well.
And then one of the coolest looking things in your guys' Agriscapes yard here is these guys.
Yeah, these are from our friends over at Flower Street Urban Gardens, and we've been helping them develop the watering system and really, you know, perfect the system, especially for the Arizona climates. And we're always testing out new stuff. They make some beautiful stuff that we do for clients and putting in, literally making walls just out of this stuff. So just steel posts, and then they'll have these on both sides, and you can just imagine what it looks like.
Yeah,
Just
great.
awesome rows and rows and rows of just a lot of cool stuff that you can grow veg out of.
And then you got watermelons down below.
Yep, bunch of different types of watermelon down below.
What do you find is the best kind of watermelons to grow in the Phoenix area?
Well, I haven't had one that didn't work, but it's because I think I'm always throwing them in different microclimates.
Right.
And that's really the trick. It's making sure they get a good amount of shade. For varieties like these ones, we got some Sugar Baby. These are mostly Sugar Baby watermelons.
So
And
don't
then-
put all of your eggs in one basket. Don't like throw all your crop right here. Do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and see
Yeah.
which one works best.
Yeah, either figure out what works best, or get a hold of what we've got, and save yourself a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Figuring it out.
Because you guys also sell the produce that you guys grow.
Yeah, we do, because we grow an abundance of it here. I mean, I can't eat all of it.
So where
And,
do you, how do you buy the stuff that you guys are growing?
Well, what we do is we've got a brand we created called Utopian Harvest, and you can go to utopianharvest.com and you can actually see the different locations that we sell.
Really?
And then a lot of our clients, I mean, we will come out, we'll certify your location as a food growing location that then fits the criteria for selling at the market, and then we can either pick it up or they can bring it to the market and we'll sell it for them, or they can be there and help us sell it. The more process they do, the higher percentage of the actual sale they get. And they're going to beat out farmers every single time, because farmers on average only get about 17.6% of the retail sale.
I see.
And the lowest our clients would get if they did nothing but let us use their yard is like 25%.
So you
it's
got
good
somebody
stuff.
who wants to grow an edible yard.
Yeah.
You're growing it for them, and then whatever amount of produce they don't eat, you'll sell at
Yep,
your
we
markets.
sell. And then they get credit back on their account. So a lot of times it ends up just,
Wow.
it's a wash, or they even make money on their yard.
So it's kind of like I rented my solar panels, but I could have just rented out my yard for a garden.
Exactly. See, that's what I do. I mean, we literally rent it back. We created an entity just for our own yard
Yeah.
to be able to run the money. The yard, basically, its entity rents, it rents the space from our house, and so that's another kind of revenue source for us as
So you
well.
guys
And
is-
it's valuable.
That's cool. You guys' business is kind of improving the local food supply, grown locally, selling to locally.
Yeah. And the Utopian Harvest model is to grow and eat within 15 miles. So
Wow.
all the food is coming within a 15-mile radius. And so
Yeah.
that's how we sell, and that's how we set things up.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.